So these are our family members. Who has been father, mother, numberless times, brother, sister, numberless times, all that, friend, enemy, numberless times. So the who left, who were human being, so, yesterday, day before yesterday, up to yesterday, day before yesterday, who were human being, and but today could not be human being. So being under the control of karma and delusion, so today could not be human being, you see. So then today or even yesterday or day before yesterday, however, unable to be human being, then I say left, so reincarnated intermediate stage, other realms, so like that. So according to the past karma. So, but but the person himself or herself, I guess maybe much of this didn't know about life, didn't know about what it means, didn't know what it means death, have no idea of death, no knowledge of death, no education of death, and also no education of rebirth. Didn't have any idea of what it exactly means rebirth, no idea. So because of that, no education of death. No really understanding what death is. So, so that it's the biggest. What how to say? Yeah. So that. See. Because the lack of correct understanding of the mind, correct, because lack of understanding of lack of correct understanding of what is the mind. So because of that, no understanding of birth, no understanding death. So I mean, maybe due to Christianity, you see, if you don't believe, if you believe God, there's a heaven. You go to heaven. If you don't believe God, you go to hell. There's no hungry ghost. There's no hungry ghost. No, because this more precious than gold. Because gold you can use to clean the nose, and it might injure your nose. It might injure your nose. Might make holes. But this doesn't harm, doesn't injure the nose. I mean, you can fill it up with nose, but you can fill it up with the whole, but it doesn't injure the nose. So anyway, this is so I think sometimes I tell people this is more precious than gold, than the diamond. The diamond you can use to clean the nose. So, so yeah. Then you see, it become for use, for your needs. It become more precious. So anyway, that's what I think. So anyway, So, so, so I mean, there's no talk about not talk about no. I mean, if you don't believe God, you go to hell. No, I'm not talking about goat. I'm saying God. So if you don't believe, I'm not saying it's. I think I said if you don't believe goat, then you go to hell. But I think my mouth perhaps spoke that way. So it didn't mean quite like that. So anyway, it didn't say hell, but it doesn't say animal and the other rebirth. So I think it's a little bit strange because it only talks hell. It didn't talk about the animals that you see and see, you know. And then also hungry ghosts. It didn't say only hell. So anyway, but they exist. Animals exist. There many people can see hungry ghost. Many people can see who has eyes to see. You know, so the spirits, you know. This is who has a double eye line, and they can see. That's what I heard. But I think sometimes you can, yeah, I mean, you know, yeah, when you are, you know, level of merit is down. Sometimes I had time to experience obstacles, and sometimes you might have visions and things like that to see. But there's some people who normally see. I want to see very much, but I cannot see it. Because I do the charity for Preta, but I want to see how many Pretas come. You know, so I was quite curious, you know, how many Pretas come. Or there's so much crowd, like forest, or comes on a tree too. So anyway, so I was interested in that. So, but anyway, what people say, you know, those who can see seems like forest outside, you know. So when we bless the water, when we sprinkle around, you know, the road, so if it even drops, goes out, it seems unbelievable blessing for them. And then if the mantra can be chanted also with that, then they get unimaginable enjoyment, like city, like, you know, well, like when you're landing in the city by airplane, you see the lights all, you know, number sort of that, you see like that. Like the clouds spread in the sky. So they're getting unbelievable enjoyment. With the water, you can also Lama Zopa Rinpoche you can recite that. Makes like say, handful of this earth and then the rest of the earth and that, like that differences. If you chant mantra, how this is, you know, like that, unbelievable. So you chant the mantra when you keep the water, sprinkle water. So who does sprinkle water? Thank you. So makes a boo. What? He also does. Makes a boo. Mexi. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so it's good to go around, you know, to do. But you can do with the hands, you know, like that, you see, like that, or tree leaves, you know. It's very good. So it's unbelievable benefit. That you see. But this, but it says that making water charity to pratha, it somehow it says that it says that you can't see them, but they can't see you. They can't see you. It says that you cannot see them or something. You can't see them or they can't see them. It says something that they can see you as a. I think it is talking as they can. I guess it means they cannot harm you. In this, I think it's talking in that sense. Those spirits, they cannot harm you. I think in that sense they cannot see you if you do the water charity to them. So that so they say. For example, some houses, for some people, very violent. There's a lot of violence. Can't get sleep, and a lot of violence. You see, and they get sick like that. But some people come, nothing happens. They stay in the house, nothing happens. Very good sleep, nothing happens. No disturbances. So that like that, you see. So in Washington, I don't know what's the rest of the name. Washington, what something? I'm not sure. Riverside, where the Amitabha Pure retreat house is near what's called Riverside. So there's one house. One old student. One old student, David. So he, can imagine. One time he sent me a letter. He's an old student, but not kind of known by many old students, not like that. Old student as a long time ago there. But one time he wrote me a letter. Well, he did unbelievable retreat. I think many different deities and the preliminaries. So many unimaginable. So he doesn't do a particular job. He does his own practice, and he does a Bandhalama Protector Puja, the full puja he does for other people. And so he does that. If he's going to observation for somebody, then he will perform this full puja, not just short, complete. Then you do observation. So like that, and yeah, so unbelievable practice. So he did. So he helps people doing puja things, and I think maybe I don't know. There's no particular job, and he maybe gets some help from people and just lives like that. And but he's very, very dedicated. Very dedicated. So he's disciple is in a song Rinpoche, many years ago. And so anyway. So looking for retreat place, and anyway, he offered no. So this riverside was this near. So he got one lady was benefit him to pay for the land, and also to build retreat houses on the hill. On the hill, it has it has an unbelievable view. It's like a Kaban monastery. You see, you're on Kaban Hill, and all the mountains all around with this, like mandala, the Chichari, the outer fence, all like this. Then you see from there everything around. Swambu, or the holy places, or the airport, and from where everybody come, and sort of that. So they're not so distant like this, but close by. Then it's a mountain like this, but all forest close by. So so that. Then there are houses here and there. At the moment, like that, a lot of space, and here ground, all the ground, all the amount of this. So yeah, like that, very open. So so anyway, that was anyway. Since I'm talking about this, since the subject came out. So the idea was I bought quite big land. So then this so near close to the house, then the sanghas, maybe small houses for retreat. So that I went to there. So they built small houses for that for retreat basically. And then then there were other additional land. So also in the future, all the students and also lay, not only sangha. So when they retired or when they say do not need to work, say or can't work, so to build houses there. And then live their life in peace and just do their own, continue their practice. And so, it could be from the organization, students, but also it can be outside. Anybody who wants to live their life in peace, rest of life in peace, and continue live their life on practice. So, and die in peaceful, sort of meaningful way or peaceful way, sort of for that. So those, so got quite a large land to that, so to thinking for that also as well. So then, the idea is that so the young students maybe run as a nurse, to take care of them, help to do their practice, do the prayers together. So because their mind get degenerated, you see, so help whatever mantras or sadhanas to chant together, so that the person, so this way able to get done. So things like that, and they have not only nurse giving food, cleaning, not only that, but also help in prayer. So this is a special nurse, you see. So nurse helping for enlightenment, liberated from the lower realms, you see. So that. So anyway, that's the idea. So, but there's still a lot of land to and so then two nuns who have been working at the Aptra's house, and then Washington Retreat Place, who have been working, often the main work is often water bowl, many hundreds of water bowls. So two of them, they bought land in the forest to put themselves to have a retreat house, and also others to have retreat houses in the forest, on the mountain. So with the rocks and trees and So it's it's not a kind of a way to have a little place, an isolated place, or something like that. So anyway, hopping like that, and then you see to have more stupas and parables, more holy objects, so that those old people, I mean, when they open their eye, when they open their eye, the minute when they open their eye, you see, I don't know, the two eyes, this eye, I don't know where it is. This eye or the, I don't know, the eye. So the which eye? With this eye. Or this eye. Anyway, so anyway, the minute when they open eye, daily life, you see stupas and parables, all holy objects, as a minute, you see many holy objects. So that very easy, so that very makes their life very easy to purify their mind. It's such an easy way to purify their need karma collected from beginningless rebirth. To purify and so easily enter to collect extensive merits, just by seeing a statue of Buddha or stupa or whatever. So maybe I don't mention here, maybe another time, so maybe afterwards. Anyway. Here I'm just going to read the people's name, but I got to carry away. And but since I came to this talk, I thought to maybe mention the idea. So if you have holy objects, it's so good. So good, you see. You have an art and you makes your life meaningful. What you see immediately makes your life so meaningful. Imagine that which purify your need karma collected from beginningless rebirth and then plant seed of enlightenment. The minute you open your eye, you see, having incredible advantage, having many of these holy objects having around has that benefit. It benefits you, it benefits others. Nobody listen to me. So anybody who see from distance, from very far, many miles from mountain, from where daytime, nighttime, it plants seed of enlightenment, they purify their mind, need karmas, from beginner's rebirth, and brings them to enlightenment. This whole object, how far from the sentiment from how much far nighttime, daytime they can see. So it brings them to enlightenment, in the time, sooner or later, in the future life, go to birth and bring to enlightenment, to see liberation, enlightenment. So see, once the whole objects are built, once the whole objects built, can imagine that. So, once built, naturally, see, it liberates numberless things every day. It liberates numberless things to purify the karma, which causes to be reborn Lord, and the cause to be samsara, suffer. So, the insects and people, all the wow, who land on the stupa statue, insects who go around, who land, they need karma collected from beginning history, but so much of it, they need karma get purified, and then who goes around as well, then create the cause of enlightenment. You can imagine, like the story of the 80 years old man, never practiced Dharma in his life, and then you see, then he was so bothered by many children at home, which was old man, so all the children play or make fun of him. So then he got fed up. He was taught to become a monk, so that he will have so much peace, peace in the monastery. Then he went to, then he went to ask, he went to monastery and asked Mangalji, who was the abbot of one arhat, who was excellent in psychic power. Mangalji Sheripu, who is excellent in the wisdom among Buddha's disciples, the Buddha's heart disciples, Sheripu. So they then then Sheripu said he wanted to say to a monk. Then he arrived at the door of the gate of the monastery, and Sheripu looked at him, examined him, and checked. And Sheripu said, "Oh, you're too old. You won't be able to study, and you won't be able to offer neither study nor service to the monastery, cleaning. You can't study. You have to offer service. So you can't do both. You see." And then also Sheripu said that you don't have karma to become a monk. He checked, and he couldn't see that he had karma to become a monk. You see. So that. So then old man got terribly upset, and then he put his head on the door like this. So this part he put the head on there, and then he left in the park and he cried. But that time Buddha's time in India. So Buddha's omniscient mind sees sentient beings, all the time. In every second. All the time see. Buddha omniscient mind sees sentient beings all the time. So whenever the sentient beings come and rub into his guidance, Buddha is just there without delay, even a second. That's a special quality of Buddha, you see. So then Buddha appeared in front of that old man. And then you see, and then Buddha asked what happened. The old man explained everything. How he suffered at home, all the children made fun of him, never gave peace, and then he went to the monastery, but the abbot didn't accept him, he didn't have karma, all that. Then Buddha said, "Yes, you have karma to become a monk." Buddha said, because I see you have karma to become a monk. Because I have completed the 2 types of marriage. Marriage is wisdom, marriage is virtue. But the Sheripu haven't completed it, haven't finished. He just, I have to say. So the Buddha said, he hasn't completed the 2 types of marriage. Marriage is virtue, marriage is wisdom. Okay? So it didn't complete it. So therefore he cannot see, that you have karma to be a monk. So I think that's probably that's maybe subtle karma, I guess. So maybe due to length of time, maybe due to length of time, with that, maybe unlimited time to go. Let's see. So anyway, or something extremely subtle karma. So there's the 4 causes of unknowing. See, Mishibi Jushi, the 4 causes of unknowing. So there's one is the Buddha's their own secret actions. Only Buddha's holy mind, omniscience can see. No even tentative Bodhisattva cannot see. So that's one. Then the one thing about unbelievable time. Then one is the karma is extremely subtle. That one other one I'm not sure. There may be distance and. Maybe I'm not sure. So anyway, so Buddha said, you have karma to be a monk. Buddha, because you wear fly, you unimaginable, unimaginable. Unimaginable of unimaginable. Times ago, eons, unimaginable. See, go that you will fly one time, you will fly. And then there was a stupa, and then there was cow dung around. So then you follow the smell of the cow dung. So it becomes circumambulation. It became circumambulation, but because you follow the smell of the cow dung which is around the stupa, you see. So that became that one time. You see. So that becomes circumambulation. Circumambulation stupa. So that was the merit, That was the merit that you can become a monk. Buddha says. Say unimaginable times ago. So so you have to understand. You have to understand what the story. What it means is that the fly's motivation and on a pure non-virtue, because it's just attachment. It's just attachment, to the smell of the cow dung. just completely pure non-virtue. You see, the attachment to the smell of the cow dung. So that pleasure, see, pleasure of that life, that smell of cow dung. See, just that. The fly didn't have a recognition that this is a holy stupa, that I'm going around. Didn't have that motivation. Didn't have education. The fly didn't have education that this is holy stupa. Okay. That's it. The fly didn't receive education that this is holy object stupa. It wasn't taught. Didn't go to inner center. The fly didn't have chance to go to center to learn that this stupa is a holy stupa. Then by going around, you create cause to become a monk. No, didn't have. So this fly didn't have motivation to create cause of happiness, future lives. Didn't have. The fly did not have motivation to achieve their ultimate happiness. Ultimate happiness. The pure happiness. You see, the everlasting, the pure happiness. The total cessation of the suffering of samsara and the cause, karma, and delusion. That is to achieve that, to go around the stupa, didn't have that, didn't have that first dharma motivation. Second, you see, the motivation of the lower capable being, middle capable being didn't have. Then also did not have motivation, the purest motivation, the higher capable being. See, to achieve enlightenment for sentient beings, I go around the stupa, didn't have that. So no dharma motivation. No motivation is dharma, holy dharma. So motivation totally pure non-virtue. Only seeking the happiness of this life, and you see the smell of the cow dung. Okay. So then, motivation like this. Motivation is totally something else. Non-virtue, completely pure non-virtue. But then it became circumambulation because it went around this by following the smell of cow dung. It became circumambulation. The motivation non-virtue, but action became virtue. You see, so it became cause for enlightenment. That means, by the way, cause to achieve liberation from samsara, and that means, by the way, cause of happiness, future lives. So that you see, to meet dharma in the future, all that thing. So yeah, so that how how this has happened, and that's due to the power of the holy object, not from motivation side, but from the side of the stupa. Power from the side of the power of the holy object, and the action become virtue. Okay, so that so so normally our actions become say to become cause of enlightenment. Then it should be done with motivation. Should become the Mahayana motivation. Say to bodhicitta to achieve enlightenment for sentient beings. Or say the activity should be done. It should be motivation bodhicitta. The action to result the total cessation of the samsara. You see, oceans of samsara, suffering and cause, karma, delusion. Then that action should be done. It has to be done with the motivation, seeking the liberation. So they're seeking liberation from samsara, and then you see the action to become the result, the action to result happiness, future lives. Then that should be done with the motivation. Detached to this life, happiness detached to this life, and seeking happiness, future lives. So see, so yeah. I mean, still it's the attachment, seeking the happiness, future life, but detached to this life. So, that's the very last. So that action is the very last dharma, the very bottom and the very last dharma. Down below this is no dharma, only non-dharma. So. See, non-dharma. So down below this, then action done with the motivation, being attached to this life. Is a pleasure. See, then you see, then that motivation is totally non-virtue. Non-virtue, see the total non-virtue. And the immediate effect to your mental continuum is no peace, disturbances to your inner peace. To your mental continuum, there's no inner peace. Inner peace and happiness, it doesn't have that effect. The immediate effect, what it does to your heart, to your mind, is a disturbance. See, so that unpeaceful. You see, so so that so the say so the action is complete non-virtue. Eating, walking, sitting, sleeping, doing job, meditation, reading text, whatever the see, including meditation. So they done with that motivation, attached to this life, all become non-virtue, negative karma. All those become non-virtue and negative karma. So that. So there happened. Lama teacher said when when he was on the way to Tibet, in the road, was crossing a bridge, and suddenly he mentioned, I forgot. I forgot. Anyway, he mentioned some yogi, yogi of Hiruka or yogi of Yamata or something. One yogi, the of course Tantra is the Mahayana teaching. You see, so what Buddha taught, 84,000 teachings. Then there comes 3 levels. Lesser vehicle teachings, and great vehicle Mahayana teachings, the Paramedhyana Sutra, and then the Mahayana teaching, the Tantra, the Sikrimanta Vajra. So this, I mean, so the Yamantaka or say, Vajra. So you see, they practice the tantric practice, So, but that meditator was a yogi, but became say, fell down. They became a follower of the Lord Nirvana, a lesbical path. He was yogi before, but then fell, you see. So that's become follow the lesbical path, and that's because the motivation changed, you see. So about that. Then also he mentioned suddenly mentioned that, and also he mentioned there happened also practicing Tantra, you see, did it, but born in the hell realms. I think I mentioned also. So it's all to do with the motivation, you see. I see, there's nobody from outside or us out there from outside. Somebody who has a big horns or big jar mouth and then comes in and threaten that person and threaten that person or beat that person or eat that person or then get up on Lord and some none of that. So none of that, not from external, but so by the motivation, you see. So that even you are practicing something very high Tantra, but because your way of thinking mistakes, and then you're born into the lower realms, you see, held up like that. So as you heard, the old students, you have heard probably many times. When you hear commentary on the 3 principal aspects of practicing Atman Lamrim teachings, quite at the beginning, what talks about the motivation. So the two, there happened 2 meditators in Pempo, and the Pempo is so they say. Yamataka, there are 2 Yamataka meditators. I think there were 2 monks, I think. So so one died. They're doing 3 years. You see, they're doing the the long retreat, So one died. So then one day that the other monk who is still doing retreat, you see, was doing sur in the evening time, burning the tsamba on the fire and then dedicating, you see, smell the food. So then, then so he saw this hung ghost. Look like many heads, many arms, a little bit like Yamataka. A little bit like, deity Yamataka, most wrathful aspect of Manjushri. Okay. So many heads, many arms. He saw. You see, he saw the. So Prata came to Prata came to receive the smell of the food. You see, the soul. So then he asked, who are you? Then he said, oh, I was the person, I was the your helper, or who was doing retreat here before. So he said, he introduced. So then he said he's born with so much suffering. So yeah, that so so there happened like that. You see, because of course so see, they did the mantra, do the many years of meditation, see, and chant mantra. But you see, because they made mistake, you see. So in their practice they made mistake, you see. So, okay, their way of thinking, the motivation, you see. So that. So then you see, then the other person who died before, born a hungry ghost, that you see. So so I think so that means their action, chanting mantra, all those years, did not become dharma. Didn't become dharma. You understand? Didn't become holy dharma. It became only worldly dharma. So you see, although you see, done with the attachment to get power, or to get power, to become powerful, to get power, or say, think that, or say. However, seeing happiness of this life, that life, you see, so it become the motivation become the motivation of retreat become the evil thought of the edible dharma. So that then they retreated, the meditation, all their action become old dharma. Did not become holy dharma. Okay, so so that. So mistake comes from the motivation. You see, so that the big mistake, big mistake, that action during meditation, the action, the reciting mantras, all that then does not become dharma. So, So then became only cause of the Lord rhythm. So that. So even what they are reciting, the prayer is dharma subject. The prayer itself recite what they recite, even though dharma subject, but the action does not become dharma. So so see that or other ditch. However, you see, chant is to harm others. I mean, to have power in this life. Like that you see, no thought of benefiting other sentient beings. So, however, so that, so So, so this fly, okay, so so this fly is the action, motivation. So what I was saying before, so generally, our actions our actions to result happiness, enlightenment, liberation from samsara, happiness, future lives, all these, then these it has to become virtue. And how the actions become virtue is by the motivation become virtue. So that is explained before. So of course, as I mentioned before already, if the action is motivation, bodhicitta, and your action become, eating, walking, sitting, sleeping, doing job, not only the listening, teaching, reflecting, meditation practice, not only that, but even eating, walking, sitting, sleeping, doing job, doing job, business, so forth, they become cause of enlightenment. When they become cause of enlightenment, by the way, it becomes cause of happiness, future lives. It becomes cause of liberation from samsara, oceans of samsara, suffering and causes, okay? And then, by the way, it becomes cause of happiness for all the future lives. Like that. Then, by the way, even without, besides attachment, even without thinking, happiness, this life just comes. Due to dependent arising, all those merits, just so all those other happiness comes, but your action becomes cause of enlightenment. By the way, all those other happiness comes, including happiness, just comes even without thinking for it. Without effort for that, So because that's the good karma. So once the good karma, it just happens like that. So like that. That's without danger. That's without risk, without danger. So you get happiness this life, but without danger. To your mind. So the other one, the other one is your motivation to achieve happiness this life. But the motivation is the non-virtue. The other one is total non-virtue, which only result a lower realm, rebirth in the lower realm, only suffering. Then, also suffering in the future lives. Even when you're born a human being, there's suffering. So that. So that. Okay, talk about it. I have to go back. I'm not sure from where I came. Oh, but I see. Yeah. So, yeah, that's right. I was talking about the student. I was talking about that student. So so I was looking for a place. Then he offered. So he built a house on top there, and then down below there was. So he said. I think it's. I think his sponsor, the lady, already bought the land. I think I'm not sure. Anyway, so then he yeah, asked, is he sponsored to build a house for me for the retreat. Did that. So I said, what do you call it? I'm not sure. There's a farm, like a farmhouse. I'm not sure. You know, the big wood. You know, is a house. Huh? What do you say? The wood, you know, build wood with wood. What do you say? Local cabin. Local cabin. Local cabin. Yeah. The big trees, you know. That is the walls, you know. So anyway, by somebody who built houses there, you see, called Mark or something, he built. So anyway, the story is this. So this student, David, so, you know, even when you think from Seattle, even when you think coming to his house, Washington, he gets sick. Even when you start to come in the car, come out, he gets sick. So, and then when he comes there, he always gets sick. It was very unhealthy life. He always gets sick, cannot stay in the house. Yeah. So then later, he could not stay at all. Even when he started thinking to come from there, from Seattle, to come there, he gets sick. So that it's quite amazing. Quite a, you know, it's a really karma. You know, like that. So there's some spirits. Talking about there's some stories mentioned. Some other the original people, the red Indians. You know, there were lots of red Indians. You know, so then one female, others left, and the one female, I guess maybe died and lived there. So the consciousness of I guess maybe born spirit or something lived there. So the shoot the Rocky Mountain or something like that. So anyway, some story. So anyway, so we had to buy that house. So yeah, he could not. I say very unhealthy for him. So, but then it's not same for everybody. There's to the Omo. So Omo, she's staying there. So nothing happened to her. So it's like that, you know. So like that, it's really interesting. So then nothing happening. You see, disturbance too high, or nothing. So that. So why I'm talking about this? What was it? What? Oh. See? That's right. Yeah. So anyway. So that's it. Yeah. So going back, I'm sure I forgot what I was trying to mention. So then there are family members who passed away, okay, who had human rebirth up to recent time, you know, and then died. Yes, today or something. Yesterday or then born in the States or not in another realm. Okay. So that. So you see. So just to remind. Okay. So we have to pray for them. So same that sooner or later, as I mentioned yesterday also, sooner or later, my name, your name will be also like that. Same. Sooner or later. So dead, you know. Somebody will receive somebody here by telephone, you know, or through letter, email. not like as a, 200-300 years before, not like that, not email. You can hear quickly by telephone. So, yeah. So, sooner or later, this is waiting, you know, to happen. See, as this is happening to us, as see, this time they turn, we to here, but sooner or later, you know, it will be our turn. The name with the word dead, died on such a day, you see. So the crazy Lama Zopa died, such, you know. What? So no, that's I'm talking about the impairments, you see. So yeah, that you see. So you see, sooner or later. So therefore, what was it? So yeah, so we pray for them, okay. So here, Daniel Joyce, sudden. This one sick, sudden.